The season is here. Let's go.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
It's a Friday, everybody. Locked On Lions, Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Matt Derry with you on this, the first Friday before the first Sunday of the season. Friday, September 6th into Saturday, September 7th. We got Lions and Rams on Sunday night to start the season. 8:20 NBC, Ford Field. Place is going to be going crazy. Thanks for being here. Thanks for making us your first listen and checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. Shout out to our everydayers who are out there that watch on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel or listen wherever you get your podcasts. Andrew Walker, who's coming into town for week 2, overseas, big Lions fan. Shout out to Andrew. Candace Rich, who hit me up on LinkedIn. She's a big follower and viewer, works with some of the Lions players. All of you, we appreciate you checking us out wherever you get your podcasts, following us on Twitter at Derry Speaks or at Locked On Lions, the Matt Derry Facebook fan page as well. Bradford Banta is going to join us momentarily. The former Lion long snapper, tight end, assistant coach is going to join us in a little bit. We'll get Bradford's thoughts on the Lions-Rams matchup coming up on Sunday night. Locked On Lions for today, brought to you by PrizePicks. Hey, go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNFL and use code all lowercase LockedOnNFL to win $50 instantly when you play $5. A lot to get into. I've got a call of the day that I wasn't even going to do today from one of our everydayers. They're on the west side of the state, but she absolutely blew me away and knocked my socks off with how good this call is. So we're going to do our call of the day, which you can participate in at our SpeakPipe voicemail system. If you go to SpeakPipe, PIPE.com/Derry, DERY podcast page, you too can leave a voicemail and maybe be our call of the day. We're going to play that momentarily. Look, we're here, everybody. It's Lions, it's Rams, it's Sunday night. We've talked about it all week. I have the Lions winning this football game. We had Travis Rogers from Locked On Rams on yesterday on the Thursday crossover, and I said it. I see the Lions winning this game 23-21. Yes, I see a Jake Bates missed extra point. Yes, I see the Rams maybe scoring a late touchdown, a little late backdoor cover. I don't think the two offenses will just cruise right away, and we're going to have some game in the 40s. I expect some rust for both sides. Offensively, some new pieces on both sides. The new center with the Rams and Jonah Jackson coming over from the Lions. Jared Goff and the offense really haven't worked with live bullets for the last few weeks. But I see the Lions winning this football game. And I think the Rams, with no Aaron Donald, Ernest Jones has been traded. Now Darius Williams, one of their top cornerbacks and a guy that they brought back as a veteran to stabilize that cornerback room, he's out. I think for the Rams defense, I think the Lions will be able to move the football a little bit here. I do. And yeah, maybe they'll score more than 23 points, but to lose Aaron Donald, to lose Ernest Jones, who there was a contract dispute there. They traded him. He was supposed to be the leader of the defense. And don't get me wrong, Verse and Fisk coming off the edge are going to be a problem for the Lions. I got to watch those guys. But I like being at home. I like opening up this season at Ford Field. This fan base has been unbelievable in waiting for this game to finally be here and start and the season. Crowd's going to go crazy. And the Lions are a really good football team. The Lions are healthy. DJ Reader, it sounds like, is going to play some limited snaps. He's going to be out there. Maybe the only guy that is questionable is Ife Melifonwu, but otherwise, this is a healthy Lions team going into this game. And it's a team that, under head coach Dan Campbell, is focused, is ready, and I think a special season is upon us. I do. I'm not going to predict. I'm not going to do my predictions and tell you they're going to the Super Bowl, but can they go? Yes. This team is good enough. The Niners have been through a lot this offseason, and the Ayuk stuff and the Trent Williams thing, and McCaffrey's not 100% to start the year. Maybe they're beatable. A lot of people picking Green Bay. Peter Schrager, whose Super Bowl pick seems to be right every year, has the Packers playing the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and he has Kansas City winning. We saw last night. Chiefs still look pretty good, albeit they held on by a toenail against the Ravens last night. But what a football game. And now tonight, over in Brazil, we got the upstart Packers, the Super Bowl champs, facing the Eagles tonight. That should be a fun game to watch and check out. So really looking forward to all of it. Should be an unbelievable scene on Sunday night for Lions and Rams, and can't wait for the opener here. But as promised, I want to do this. I told you I wasn't going to probably play a call of the day, but I heard this on the speak pipe and I had to play it today. This is pretty good. And it's one of our everydayers who I got to give a shout out to. You'll hear it momentarily, but she did a fantastic job with this. And so our call of the day today, coming in from SpeakPipe. All right, here she is, folks. Aubrey Paulus. I don't even know. I think I mispronounced her name. From Grand Rapids. This was phenomenal. Take a listen to this.
Hi, Matt. This is Audrey from Grand Rapids, and I became a Lions fan in 2022, summer 2022, because I started following their social media page, and their social media team is just really top notch. But really what it was that converted me to become a Lions fan was just Dan Campbell. And you were talking about how much he's a fan favorite, and he made me a Lions fan, and their social media coverage of him made me a Lions fan. And I went from not caring about football, I called it sports ball, and being a Bears fan to now I have the Lions depth chart memorized and I listen to your podcast every day. So that's what Dan Campbell how he has created a fan in me, which is crazy. And I know you were talking about how beloved he is. And so my question is, do you think that he has the possibility when he retires of being like a lot of coaches and opening up a restaurant downtown Detroit? And if so, what would it be called? My vote currently is MCDC's, but we'll see what happens with the rest of his legacy. And then my last question is, should we just try Sion Vaki at kicker if something happens to Jake Bates? Because he's good at everything else. He's good at smoothies. He's good at running back safety, and he can sing. So, hey, maybe you should just add him to your kicker list. That's all. Thanks. Love the show.
There's a lot to unpack there from Audrey. I don't even know where to begin. I'm trying to think of a restaurant name that Dan Campbell would own. If Dan Campbell wins a Super Bowl, he can name it just about anything. Lombardi Trophy Cafe. He could do anything. Gamblers wouldn't be bad for Dan Campbell if he was going to do a restaurant name. As far as the Sione Vaki being the backup kicker, you're right. Anything is possible. Audrey, I don't, I'm recording from parts unknown. I'm out of town. I will be back. You'll see the normal backdrop on the Sunday podcast after the game. But I don't have my kicker list with me. But if we need to add Sione Vaki, you're an everydayer when you're referencing the kicker list. I love that kicker list. I'm not reaching for it, though. No, we're sticking with Jake Bates, even though I'm predicting a missed extra point on Sunday. But thank you, Audrey, for chiming in as our call of the day today. That was phenomenal. All right. Coming up next, Bradford Banta is going to join us. We are going to talk to Brad all about week 1. Here we go. Lions and Rams. Cannot wait. We'll talk to Brad coming up next. But first, you know this. We got to talk about LinkedIn Jobs. When you're hiring for your small business, you want to find quality professionals that are right for the role. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. LinkedIn isn't just a job board. Nope, I'm there all the time. It helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else, even those who aren't actively searching for a new job but might be open to the perfect role. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites. If you're not looking on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. And on LinkedIn, 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. Hire professionals like a professional on LinkedIn. Here's what you do. You post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. We always appreciate our friends at LinkedIn. The former Lion Bradford Banta joins us, of course, and also was an assistant coach of the Lions as well, the former long snapper and tight end, as we get ready for Lions and Rams Sunday night. Brad, good to see you, my friend. Opener is here, man. Can you believe it?
I know. It's about time, and you can't, there's nothing better than a home opener with the anticipation of how Detroit's going to do this year. And that place is going to be rocking and rolling on Sunday night.
Tell me about what you remember about openers and I said this the other day on the show. It's the most anticipated season opener and season in decades here. I mean, do you feel that? And do you remember having that kind of anticipation? Was there a season for you that at any of your stops that maybe stands out?
I would have to say that our opener, whenever I was with the New Orleans Saints in 2018, we were just coming off the disappointment with the Minnesota Miracle. And then we ended up playing the Rams, ironically, in the NFC Championship game with the pass interference. But we were that team was just talking about season opener. That team, the anticipation of that team and the follow through and the moxie, so to speak, that team had to come through in the clutch and to overcome adversity and make their way to the championship game. Unfortunately, we were playing two teams, in the NFC Championship game, so we couldn't overcome one of them.
What do you think Dan Campbell's message is, Brad, this year into the team, maybe even Sunday night before they go out? He's said it all along that it's been one game at a time and nothing's going to change, but this is a little bit different, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be speaking behind the cards, so you can't tell what he's actually telling the team, But no, he's last year was grit, right? And you're going to have a lot of carryover of that mantra into this year just because of the personality of the team. There is some turnover, but the main players are there. And Dan has a good message, and he raises a tough team because, one, that's the type of player that he was, but also, and that's the type of coach that he is. And he's, he was fortunate, he had that stint down in Miami where he was the head coach for a little bit there. Unfortunately, did not get that job, but he was able to learn and he was able to ask questions to a lot of his mentors. And, going down to the Saints after Miami, with Sean being down there, you're able to do the same thing. But now this is his team. This is Brad Holmes' team. But Dan is the face that speaks to the players every day. And, his message is always going to be about toughness. I believe they just signed, I can't think of the receiver's name that they just signed from the Denver Broncos.
Tim Patrick. Yeah.
Yeah. And he was talking about in an interview that he did, he was talking about the physicality and the pace that which the Lions practice at. I think it sets up well. If you practice at high speed, then once you get to the game, you don't have to notch it up another step. You just have to go and play.
Interesting watching. We're talking to Bradford Banta, by the way, the former Lion, long snapper, tight end, assistant coach. Tell me, we watched last night, Kansas City and Baltimore. It did not look like there was a lot of rust offensively for either team. I expect a little rust with both teams because none of these guys got out there really in the preseason. Do you agree that maybe it might take a little bit for the offenses to get going, or do you just think, hey, it's Ben Johnson, Jared Goff, and they're going to be fine?
Well, I think you have that continuity that over the last, they've been together, 2 years, I believe?
Three
years. Okay. So going into their fourth year together, just the continuity of being on that same page. And it showed last night with, on both sides of the ball offensively. The one new player that Baltimore has is, Derrick Henry, a running back. Okay, hand the ball off, go do your thing. Kansas City, Mahomes and Andy Reid have been together for, since 2017. Yeah, 2017. And they interviewed Mahomes last night, just talking about his relationship with Andy Reid, but they're on the same page. And I see that a lot of carryover, with no rust being on either team. And I don't look for Detroit to have much rust on their offense. And I certainly don't look for the Rams to have much as well. The only thing that the Rams are going to have to get used to now is the Aaron Donald not being there. That effect, it's going to be by committee.
What do you think the Lions are going to do with wide receiver 5? It's interesting. And look, Isaiah Williams made the team as wide receiver 4, but they've got like this triumvirate sitting on the practice squad that they can elevate. Donovan Peoples-Jones, Allen Robinson, who I think is kind of done, but hopefully I'm proven wrong. And you mentioned Tim Patrick. Do the Lions wait and give all those guys a week and just go with the 4 they have? How do you think they'll work that wide receiver room for Sunday night?
Gosh, that's a great question. I really don't have a true answer for you. So I hate, but they're going to be fine. You have your dual-headed monster at running back. The quarterback position, O-line. Just looking here, you have Amon, in the slot position, and J-Dub is going to be out at X or Z, but you know what? You get paid to catch the ball.
Yeah,
go catch the ball.
You mentioned Jameson Williams? Is this the breakout year? Do you expect that, or do you think? We're going to see flashes, and there's going to be games you go, wow, but there's also going to be games where is he? Or he dropped a ball and he's just not into it that day. Or do you see a consistency in year 3 that we haven't seen yet?
I mean, you would like to see that.
Yeah.
The work that he's done in the off season, I don't know. But you don't want to be sitting here, let's say week 4, and be like, where's J-Dub been? You're a product of your environment. So, hopefully he's hanging around, because I've always told guys that are going into the league, find a vet and just be a puppy dog and do everything that they do. A vet that knows how to work. Find that vet, let him become a mentor to you, and just tag along with him. Hopefully he's done that. You're looking at year 3 for J-Dub, and you'd like to see that consistency, and hopefully you will. But you would also have to go back to his college days, and did we have that consistency in college? Do we know? I mean, I don't know that for a fact, but you'd have to go back and watch the tape. I know the Lions know for a fact, but I'm not in the building. So,
so they're gonna. They've said he's ready. It's just a matter of, like you said, putting it on tape now. So we'll have to see. All right, more with Brad. Go ahead, Brad.
How do we say it? Show me.
That's right. Exactly.
So
Missouri. You're Missouri. Yeah. All right, more with Bradford Banta coming up next. I want to ask him about the Matthew Stafford return and what he's looking for on the defensive side of the ball. A lot of hype for the Packers. I want to find out if Bradford is on that bandwagon too. We'll do that coming up next. But first, we're going to tell you about our friends at PrizePicks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps, on PrizePicks, it's just you against the numbers. Here's what you do. You pick more or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Do it on Sunday night. Have some fun with Matthew Stafford's yards. More than or less than 250. Jared Goff, more than or less than, let's say, 270. We talked about Jameson Williams. Will he have 100 yards receiving? Put some money down on more than or less than and watch the winnings roll in. PrizePicks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When your picks hit, you get your money as quickly as in 15 minutes. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use code LOCKEDONNFL and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code LOCKEDONNFL on PrizePicks to get $50 instantly. All you got to do is play $5. You don't even need to win to receive that $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks, run your game. Former Lion Bradford Banta with us. You can also catch him sometimes on Fox too. We love having him here on the podcast as well, here on Locked On Lions. All right, Bradford, Stafford's coming back in. It seems like last week that he was just here, and then we had that playoff
Well, it
game.
basically was.
I mean,
that was their last game for the Rams, so to speak. So this is their first game to open the season.
Is that good for him? Do you think there's an advantage? He threw for over 300 yards last year and they lost. Like, how do you view him coming back this time? And I don't think it'll be as ferocious as it was last year.
As far as
the crowd, the hatred, the booing, it was nasty last year.
So I think with it being a Sunday night game, it's going to give all Sunday afternoon for the Lions fans to get riled up. I think with it being a night game, it's going to make it a little bit extra special. It's going to be an interesting atmosphere down there. I almost wish I was down there to see it. So instead of just watching it on TV. So I think it'll be special.
Cooper Kupp's healthy. Puka Nacua, that crew comes in. You add Blake Corum, who you know very well.
Mm-hmm.
That offense is still very good, is it not? I mean, this will be a tough test for the defense.
No, I mean, you have it's very similar. I think it's very similar to the Lions, just as far as the personnel that they have coming back. The only deletion, like I had said before, was Aaron Donald, and that's on the defensive side of the ball, and they're going to do that by committee now. But offensively, I mean, you're looking at a lot of the same cast of characters that are coming in here and playing again. So one, they know what to expect, as well as the Detroit Lion players do as well. But they're going to be prepared, and Sean's going to have something, cooked up special just for Aaron Glenn's defense. So I look for it to be a good showdown.
The Lions secondary is so much better, especially in that corner, especially in that cornerback room than they were a year ago. Could that just be the factor where Lions won by 1 last year? They could win by 7 this time just because that cornerback room is so much better?
Yeah. I mean, there's a little bit of a youth movement there, but they're also athletic, and you also have to look at your defensive coordinator and who they talk with every day, talking about the cornerbacks, who is a fellow cornerback himself, and Aaron Glenn, and but he brings that tough-mindedness play to the game that he instills throughout the entire defense. So I think the improvement at the cornerback position is going to help them immensely. But and also, I'll be curious to see, what steps Aiden Hutchinson at the edge position is going to take. And I think with the addition of Reeder, if he plays or if he doesn't, which I think he is, I believe.
Yeah, it sounds like they're going to, it's limited, but he wants to be out there.
Yeah. To get that push up the middle, to possibly get a couple double teams and get Aiden singled up on the edge.
As somebody like you lined up on that offensive line, you had to block at the tight end position. The center is going to be Jonah Jackson, who's never played center before in the NFL. He's coming back to Detroit. They're moving him to center, and he hasn't done it since college. In a loud environment, one low snap could be the difference in this game if there's a fumble, right? Like, is that an advantage, Lions, and that crowd? Will that play a factor?
No, I think it'll be an advantage. I mean, you say he hadn't played center since college, but obviously he's taking reps during practice, because you got to have a backup. Let's say you go into a game with 8 linemen, 7 to 8 linemen, then I think it's mandated it's 8 now. But, you got to have a backup snap or center. And, I would imagine he has done quite a few snaps, but not I don't know how to politically correctly put it, not with live reps.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Not with live reps. And it'll be interesting. And they have a lot of things that they can work out as far as the snap count, just a tap from the guard looks back, the center looks between his legs, quarterback raises his leg, you wait 2 counts whenever the center, I mean, there's a whole slew of things that you can get. So a missed snap count, I don't look for that to be as much of a problem or I look for it to be a problem if he has something to worry about on the other side of the ball. That I look to be the bigger problem.
A lot of people picking the Lions to go to the Super Bowl. I saw Dan Patrick the other day at Lions, Jets, others. There's a lot picking Green Bay. They play tonight against the Eagles overseas in Brazil. You surprised at the amount of people that say Jordan Love, just in his second year basically of running the team, is going to take this team and all the way to a Super Bowl? What do you think of this whole Packers love that's going on?
It's going. I mean, it'll play out over the season, and it's going to come down to, unlike an anonymous front office personnel person who ranked the Lions in the bottom half of the league. I don't know who that was, which I think is rather silly.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, but it's going to come down to the Green Bay Detroit game, deciding who is going to win the NFC North. So, but just talking about the love that Green Bay is getting right now, I think a lot of it is a snowball effect from the end of the season, whenever Green Bay was riding that winning streak and Jordan Love was playing well and building up a lot of confidence. You have a new defensive coordinator in there who has, who's going to, was it the head coach from BC, I believe.
Yeah, Jeff Hafley. Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. So he's in there now. Is it warranted? Yes. I think it's warranted. Why? Because it's the beginning of the season. Everybody's 0-0. The only ones that are ticked off is Baltimore right now. They're 0-1. I mean, Kansas City's happy. They're sitting on top of the world.
I don't know about you, but I loved last night when Likely scored the touchdown and John Harbaugh put up the two fingers. He went, "We're going for two and going for the win." Unfortunately, we didn't get to see it because his toe was on the line. But man, Bradford, there's nothing like NFL football, man. Last night was as advertised.
It's funny you say that, Matt. I was moving my daughters into college, one in grad school and the other one in regular college. And I was able to attend a preseason game. It was the Titans Seahawks.
Okay.
Went down. I was in Nashville and went to that game, and it just, seeing that game live just made me realize how much I enjoyed the NFL game.
Yeah.
Just because of the size, speed, and professionalism of the player that's out on the field and the way that they are prepared by each coaching staff of each team. It's a fun game to watch.
No question. Nothing better. All right, Brad, great visiting with you as always, my friend. We'll do it again soon.
Sounds good, Matt. I appreciate it, man.
Bradford Banta with us, former Lion long snapper, tight end, and assistant coach, joining us on this Friday Locked On Lions. We will be with you Sunday night following Lions and Rams. Go Lions.